Welcome to a series called The End of Times, where we're going through the book of Revelation verse by verse to see what it is we can expect to happen in the end times, or more importantly, what it is we should be doing in the end times. And as we've gone through this book, we've hit the chapter on the beast, where it gives a lot of great detail into the beast. And this particular episode, we're going to kind of read through everything we've gone through on this beast and just kind of discuss it piece by piece to try to pull it all together. And then we'll enter into the destruction of Babylon. So ultimately what's taken place here is we saw the seven bowls of justice. These are the seven plagues that complete the wrath of God. And once they were completed, all of a sudden John is taken up in the spirit by an angel. And it says this in 17. Then one of the seven angels who had the seven bowls came and talked with me, saying to me, "Come, I will show you the judgment of the great harlot who sits on many waters." And those many waters are many cultures and tribes and tongues. This is a nation made up of all peoples, with whom the kings of the earth committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth were made drunk with the wine of her fornication. Meaning the kings of the earth were made drunk on her porneia, her sexual immorality, her sex slave industry. This nation's pornography is just feeding the whole earth pornography. And this is just what the angel tells him about. He hadn't even seen anything yet. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sitting on a scarlet beast, which was full of the names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. And we determined that this woman, she's a harlot. She's the harlot of the earth. She has engaged in sexual porneia with everybody. It's gross sexual misconduct on a scale that's just unprecedented. And the 7 heads are 7 nations, and we're going to touch on that in a little bit. And the 10 horns are 10 kings who will then unite and give their authority to the beast. Let's keep going. The woman was arrayed in purple, scarlet, and adorned with gold, precious stones, and pearls. And those are the gluttonous spending. That's this nation of people, many tribes and tongues. They just spend and spend, constantly buying the nicest of everything. Having in her hand a golden cup full of the abominations and the filthiness of her fornication. And on her forehead a name was written, Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and the abomination of the earth. And I saw the woman drunk with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Jesus. And when I saw her, I marveled with great amazement. So ultimately, this woman that's riding this beast, clearly, like when he says you got drunk on the blood of the saints, meaning it enticed this nation to go and war against the saints, to kill the saints. They indulged in it. They enjoyed it. They were intoxicated by it. But the angel said to me, "Why do you marvel? I will tell you the mystery of the woman and of the beast that carries her, which has the 7 heads and the 10 horns. The beast that you saw was and is not, and will ascend out of the bottomless pit and go to perdition." Now this is Satan they're talking about. And he doesn't get destroyed, he goes to perdition, and that's essentially goes to jail for 1,000 years, and then he comes back out as the 8th beast. Let's keep going. And those who dwell on the earth will marvel, whose names are not written in the book of life from the foundations of the world, when they see the beast that was and is not and yet is. Now these are last episode I used these are non-Christians, but a lot of people claim to be Christians and they're not written in the Lamb's book of life. These are remnant. These are people who really will stand up for Jesus Christ. And there will be a day where you'll have to decide literally, or it could cost you your life. And a lot of people will choose their life over Jesus Christ, and that's exactly what this is saying, is those people, they'll marvel by this. They'll be amazed by this beast. And we touched on earlier episodes about the different signs and wonders this beast will perform, and its authority is from Satan and its power is satanic. So let's keep going. Here is the mind that has wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sits. Now this is believed to be essentially all the Christian faiths breaking off of the Roman Catholic Church. These are the 7 churches. And the Antichrist, the 10 kingdoms that make up the beast, they will be riding the Christian faith as well as the Antichrist. He's the Antichrist. He's going to claim himself to be Christ. So of course he's going to be, kind of a Christian faith. There are also 7 kings. 5 have fallen, 1 is, and the other has not yet come. And when he comes, he must continue a short time. And these are satanic kingdoms who have scattered, destroyed, enslaved, and ruled over Israel. In John's day, the one that still is was Rome. So we would read this as 6 have fallen and 1 still is rising right now. Keep going. And the beast that was and is not is himself also the 8th and is of the 7 and is going to perdition. So here what we're looking at is we're looking at a beast, and it means so many things. And I've tried to say something. You can't say it means this one thing. This beast represents, it's got a woman, it's got a whore riding it who represents a nation, if not America, just like America, probably America. And, because of the sex slave industry, the pornography, the gluttonous spending, and, we'll get into the destruction of Babylon here shortly and in further episodes, and I think you're going to agree with me on this one as we look at a closer description of Babylon. And she's riding this beast, meaning she's in control of this beast, which has 7 heads, meaning in 7 moments in history, these were kingdoms, satanic kingdoms that ruled over Israel and destroyed them, scattered them, enslaved them, etc. The 10 horns are 10 kings of the 7th head, the last beast, that last of that satanic kingdom. Those 10 kings will all rule. It'll be a 10-king kingdom warring against the saints specifically. All right, so with that being said, and this 8th again, after the 1,000-year reign, there's the Gog-Magog war that will take place that we saw later in Revelation 18:9, or 18:10. And so that's why he said, well, he's of all 7 of these kingdoms, but he's also of the 8th. So they're talking about Satan here. This is a satanic thing. It's anti-Christ. So that's kind of, let's just wrap that up there. And we're going to kind of move forward and just keeping those things in mind. Let's move on now. And the 10 horns which you saw are 10 kings who have received no kingdom as yet, but they receive authority for 1 hour as king with the beast. So here you have 10 kings. They've been given an authority by Satan, and they're given their authority to this beast, this ultimate war machine empire that's really designed to kill Jesus and kill the saints. Let's keep going. These will make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb will overcome them. For he is Lord of lords and King of kings, and those who are with him are called chosen and faithful. Now this is a critical piece, because what a lot of people, they're really focused on who the Antichrist is, or they're really focused on who these countries are. But what this is all about, and I've tried to say that it's about a spiritual war between Satan and 1/3 of the angels, and the horsemen and 2/3 of the remaining angels that are faithful to God. And we are victims in that. And there's these satanic kingdoms that are rising that are just trying to cancel out the woman Israel giving birth to Jesus and then his second coming. So this whole time from Genesis to the end, there's been this war going on, trying to stop, just like we saw in Revelation 12, this woman, Israel, giving birth to a son, Jesus, who will redeem all of mankind. And yet the Satan is trying to stop it the whole way. That's why Israel's been persecuted this whole time. And now we're coming to the end, and Satan knows he's running out of time. He's about to go serve 1,000 years in jail, so he's trying to put an end to it. So the fighting is increasing, but God is always in charge. And the saints win. I mean, that's the thing, is Jesus wins, the saints inherit the earth. And that's the critical piece you have to get in this. What is the beast? The beast is a massive nation that is run by Satan. And it has been around from the beginning. He's been around since the beginning of time, and he went from Rome, or he went from Babylon and into Persia, ruling over Persia, and then he went into Greece, and then he went to the Ptolemaic and the Seleucid empires, and then into Rome, and then he's been ruling this earth this entire time as Prince of the Earth, is what the Bible says. And now he's trying to put an end to Israel, and he's trying to put an end, so he's building an army that will war against the saints and kill Jesus when he comes. It's what this is all about. He's trying to prevent the kingdom of heaven to be on earth as it is in heaven. That's what it's all about. So when you see verse 14, this is what it's all about. Why is this beast here? What is it here to do? These will make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb will overcome them. For he is Lord of lords and King of kings, and those who are with him are called chosen and faithful. It's what it's all about. You know, so when you're trying to say, well, here's this guy, or here's this thing, or you're trying to point at things, like, just pull it all together. Just pull all those things together. It's many things. Ultimately, what this is, Satan, who has been trying to stop the kingdom of heaven on earth since the beginning, has been going from one kingdom to the next, trying to devour the woman Israel, trying to prevent the birth of Jesus Christ. And when he couldn't do that, now he's building an army. And he's building this empire, which will be made up of 10 kings, 10 kingdoms. And they will give their authority to Satan. Because he helped build their empire. And now they're just handing it over to this beast. So now, knowing all that, let's pick this up again. Verse 7, but the angel said to me, why do you marvel? I will tell you the mystery of the woman and of the beast that carries her, which has the 7 heads and the 10 horns. The beast that you saw was and is not, and will ascend out of the bottomless pit and go to perdition. And those who dwell on the earth will marvel, whose names are not written in the book of life from the foundations of the world, when they see the beast that was and is not and yet is. Here is the mind which has wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sits. There are also 7 kings. 5 have fallen, 1 is, and the other has not yet come. And when he comes, he must continue a short time. And the beast that was and is not is himself also the 8th, and is of the 7, and is going to perdition. And the 10 horns which you saw are 10 kings who have received no kingdom as yet, but they receive authority for 1 hour as king with the beast. These are of one mind, and they will give their power and authority to the beast. These will make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb will overcome them, for he is Lord of lords and King of kings, and those who are with him are called chosen and faithful. I believe myself and many of you to be chosen and faithful. This is good news. All of this is good news, because when you see this terrible beast rise, just know Jesus wins, we inherit the earth. It's a beautiful thing. So love to hear any thoughts on this. Again, I was trying to pull it all together. I can't recall how many episodes we've spent on just chapter 17, but I believe it's in the realm of about 15. So just trying today to pull it together. It's a very confusing thing. And again, just keep in mind, it's not one thing. It's a big thing. This beast is a it's a satanic beast that's been around since the beginning. And here we are at the very end. But keep in mind, saints inherit the earth. Love to hear any thoughts you have on that. Put it in the comments below. If you like this video, click like and subscribe. Feel called to support this channel with Patreon. That link is also below. But the most important part of this channel is we take prayer requests. So please don't ever hesitate to send that in. Thank you for watching this episode of God, Family, and Guns. And as always, love God, love your family, and love guns.